Hello and welcome to A Blog for Life live YouTube channel, a channel where all lives matter. Something that I get told or something that is said to me quite often is there's no point in going vegan. It won't make any difference if I go vegan on my own. Well, is that really true? There's an estimated 72 billion land animals that are killed for food every single year. That's approximately 200 million every single day. 8.33 million land animals every single hour. 138,888 every single minute. Now, that works out at 2,314 land animals slaughtered for food every single second. Count to 10. That would be 23,140 animals just slaughtered in order to feed human beings. Now, if you want to link to the figures for that, they are on my website, www.ablogforlife.com. And there's a link there to all those statistics. If we factor in fish and sea creatures, it's estimated that the daily total would actually be around 3 billion animals killed for food, which is over 1 trillion per year killed simply to feed us human beings. 1 trillion animals. These numbers are unbelievable. They're literally mind-boggling. I don't know how anybody can get their head around these kind of numbers. Now, there are 7.7 billion people on Earth. That means an average human being consumes a little over 9 animals per year if you exclude fish and the sea creatures. And if you include the fish and the sea creatures, that jumps to 129 per person. Now, I know that's a lot of figures, but they're staggering. They're unbelievable figures that in reality, nobody really can comprehend just how many animals that really is. One vegan makes no difference. And could that be true? With those kind of figures, if we just say one vegan, I stop eating meat tomorrow, does that really make a difference? And in a conversation with a meat eater about veganism, I will often highlight these numbers and point out to them with a huge amount of animals that are slaughtered for food every year. Inevitably, when faced with these figures, the reply is often repeated back to me that there's no point. There's no point in them or me being vegan. How does that make any difference to all of those animals? Now, while this is a very basic and simplistic argument, when we take the colossal global figures of animals killed versus the individual numbers, it's not hard to see why they would draw this conclusion. However, there are some basic and fundamental flaws with this reasoning, which I will demonstrate. Point 1. This is an average based on the entire human population. However, there are 1.5 billion vegans and vegetarians worldwide, estimated. We are only dealing with animals killed to be eaten here, not animals that are used for the dairy products or the dairy industry, but that's even more, and not even a figure that I've included in this. Therefore, we can exclude the vegetarian along with the vegan population from the total number of people in the equation, as neither vegans or vegetarians contribute to the total number of animals killed for food. When we do this, we actually will see that the average number of animals consumed per non-meat-eating person increases from 9 animals to closer to 14. That's over a 50% increase. And the combined total of all animals rises to 175 if you include fish and sea creatures. So while it does increase, I can see that, again, people could say, well, 14 animals, is that really going to make too much of a difference? But if we take those same 1.5 billion non-meat eaters, and times it by the average of 9 land animals, we get a huge figure of 13.5 billion land animals. And if we times the 1.5 billion by the combined 129, we get an enormous 193 billion combined animals that do not have to be killed in order to feed these people. So while on an individual basis, it's true that maybe one person doesn't make a huge amount of difference, but collectively, we are already saving nearly 200 billion lives every single year just by the ones that don't eat meat. So that is not a small and insignificant number. It's huge and works out around about 18% of all the animals killed for food. So we can say on the individual basis, yes, 14 animals, 9 animals, 129 animals, even 175 animals. It's pale in comparison to the amount of animals that are killed every year, but not as a collective. Every single person that adds to those numbers, they play a big role in that combined number. And the more people that stop eating meat, that number will only increase. One individual, 9 land animals, 129 combined. 100, 900 land animals, 12,900 combined. 1 million individuals, 9 million land animals, 129 million combined. Imagine if we added another 1 billion people to that, 2 billion people, how those numbers would become it's significant, massive. If every single non-meat eater thought that them not eating meat made no difference, and so ate meat, then we would see that number would considerably decrease from that 200 billion animals per year that are saved. Individuals, when combined, do make a huge difference. Point 2, as already noted, this is an average number. There are, of course, going to be people who eat a lot less and a lot of people that eat a lot more. So the actual number of lives that would be saved would depend entirely on the individual. I myself, and I'm really, every time I think about this, it fills me with disgust, to be honest, is the word that I'm looking for, I think. I used to eat about 300 animals per year. So I was consuming well over the average. And most of mine were land animals. I hardly ate fish. Mine were land animals. I ate around 4 to 5 whole chickens per week because I thought that that's where I needed to get my protein from. So actually the number of land animals that I consumed would have been at least 25 times the global average. While an average person makes little difference, when a person who eats as much as what I used to eat gives up eating meat, then they do make a huge impact. I know that not everybody's going to be eating anywhere near the 300 animal mark, but anybody that works out and eats protein, meat for their protein, they're consuming huge amounts of animal product. Point 3. Let's go back and focus on the individuals for a moment. For argument's sake, we shall say Mr. or Mrs. Average, and just say that person eats 9 land animals and a combined 129 animals per year. When we look at these figures compared to the global figure, they may appear insignificant. However, this is only if you look at the numbers and only focus on the numbers and not look at these numbers as actual real animals, real lives. While the number may be 9 and 129, that's just a number. But these are 9 and 129 real animal lives. Animal lives that have to be killed, the lives taken in order for that person to eat. For those 9 animals, or those 129 animals, that one person giving up eating meat means life. That means everything. One individual makes a difference to those animals that don't die. And that is huge. That's more than numbers. That's life. So there's 7.7 million people 7.7 billion people on this planet. And let's say that humanity decided that every year it would randomly kill one person. Just one person. Let's say that this year that person was you. Now, to the vast, vast majority of those 7.7 billion people on the earth, you being selected to be the one to die this year makes literally no difference to them, apart from the fact it isn't them. It's just one life. A life of a person that they have no connection to. So as long as it isn't them, what difference does it make? But to you, this one life that will be ended is of fundamental importance. It's your life. One life is of uttermost importance to the one whose life it is. It will also have a major impact on your family and your friends. To say that the lives of a few animals saved by one individual not eating meat does not matter is to completely take away the life that is behind that number. If you start with the premise that every single life has its own intrinsic value and every single life has its right to be alive, every animal has that right to be alive and live their life, then that not eating meat doesn't just make a difference, it's paramount. Look past the numbers and focus on the lives behind the numbers. If every single meat eater simply reduced down their meat consumption by half, this would save 36 billion land animals and around 500 billion combined lives every single year. Now, while this would still mean that 36 billion land animals' lives and a combined 500 billion lives were lost, and to them, that would make no difference. They were going to die. But to those animals that were saved, oh, that's fundamental. Now, of course, a non-meat eater and someone that values all life, I hope that one day we can get these figures down to zero. This, I know, is going to take a long time. It isn't going to happen overnight. But in the meantime, we can reduce the numbers. You can make a difference. You, as an individual, can make a huge difference by not eating meat. You can make a huge difference to those individual lives and that you save. And that you're adding to that collective of lives that are saved every year. There is a point to going vegan. One vegan does make a difference. If you want to start being vegan or at least reduce down your meat consumption, start now. I hope this has been interesting. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I look forward to seeing you on another video. If you would like to follow us, you can do so on the website www.ablogforlife.com. And if you'd like to support this channel, you can do so through our PayPal. It's there's a link in the description, and would be much appreciated. Thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video.